What's up, everyone? Shaquille Mahjoudi here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. He is the UFC's number 12th ranked lightweight contender, headlining UFC Paris against Renato Moicano this Saturday. The God of War, Benoit Saint-Denis. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, and I cannot wait to be on Saturday.
I know. I mean, we've only had a few. This is kind of becoming like UFC at Madison Square Garden. Every September, we come back to Paris, and for once, we have someone other than Cyril Gane in the main event. How much does it mean for you that the UFC kind of trusted you to bring the promotion back to Paris?
I love it. It's a huge honor and privilege, and fighting me with my compatriots on such a competitive card. Fight card is amazing, and I will have the privilege to watch my fellow countrymen fight before me, and then going to war against a top contender. So really, really great.
Very quickly, when we look at the Moicano fight, where do you think he's the most dangerous, and where do you think you are the most dangerous?
I think in the especially in the lightweight division, top 10 is always dangerous. He's well-rounded. He's dangerous everywhere, and we worked on everything to bring the danger also in all compartments.
I think one of the, your nickname is very well suited. It's all action all the time. It's such a fun style to watch. I'm curious, where does this fearlessness come from? Can you draw it at all to your time in the military and special forces, or have you always been this way? Can you talk to me a little bit about what sort of inspires your style?
Uh, it's the way we are in our family. My father has been giving us this martial education in a way, and to live it all out. And yeah, and it's the way I fight. Naturally, it's my DNA as a fighter.
You are coming off of that huge step up against Dustin Poirier, a very fun fight to watch. What did the Poirier fight teach you about competing at the absolute elite level in the lightweight division?
Uh, First off, to never underestimate nobody, and to be 100% healthy and prepared when you go
Mm-hmm.
to a fight. And everything has been going very fast in my career, so I
Totally.
had a lot of stuff I wasn't able at the time to manage together, because when you become a huge fighter in the UFC, you kind of become your own CEO, and all this together, I wasn't able to manage it well, and I had no pleasure going to training anymore. Um,
Mm.
I was feeling bad, and I had to work on all this, on a lot of stuff to bring all parameters back to green, and let's get a green on Saturday night.
I'm happy to hear that. What were you able to sort of change to sort of bring the joy back into this process?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the most important stuff is to be proud of your stuff,
Mm.
of the work you are doing together, and of everybody involved in the adventure as a fighter.
How do you think, you mentioned your health, obviously, there was that, I think it was a staph infection, if I'm not mistaken. That's something a lot of fighters deal with, right? Even Sean O'Malley had mentioned that he came into both the Aljamain Sterling fight and the Marab fight with injuries. It's hard, right? Because these opportunities are few and far between. How are you going to manage, the risk reward of fighting and your health in the future?
Yeah, this is a difficult stuff to do. It was the first time. When everything is green, um, there is not a lot of chance that you get an infection just before the fight, or that you get sick. But if you have too much stuff on your mind, and you are
Mm.
stressed, and your body, and you don't feel well, it happens. And for me, it happened during the fight week. So I wasn't there mentally and physically, because of that, and it's very difficult situation. Injury is a bit easier to kind of managed because you have a physiotherapist, you have
Yeah.
a medicine. If you are not functionally able to fight, you won't fight. So if you fight, it's you take a risk on a very specific stuff, like maybe you cannot kick with the right leg or or stuff like that. But it doesn't bother too much your physical condition. If you come without if you come fucked up, it's difficult. So yeah, you have to be an happy man as a fighter and to manage well your camp, your training, and the session and the schedules, especially late in the camp, to be 100% ready and to be ready for the most important, the fight.
Last thing on Dustin, if you know he had been flirting with retirement, it seems like he might fight again. When Dustin Poirier does retire, what do you think his legacy will be as a fighter?
Ah, he's a great fighter, and I think the only way I get a shot at him again is to take the belt from Makashev's
Mm.
waist, and then I will have something that he hasn't, and maybe we will do it back and forth.
Oh,
But it's the only way I see me um, uh, having the honor and privilege to fight him again. So I have to work my ass off to get back in there and to get at this place.
as we begin to wrap up here, Benoit, for people who don't know some of your story in your career, it's quite remarkable. And hey, there's a graphic novel I think coming out today. If people want to learn more about it, we'll get to that afterwards. You know, when you got your start in MMA, you gave yourself 2 years full time to make it to the UFC, correct? That's the money you had saved up.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And basically, I think, you know, May 2020. Yeah, I think it was like 2.5 years basically from when you had your your pro debut to when you fought in the UFC. How were you feeling about that promise to yourself 2 years in? Were you confident that you were on the cusp of happening? Were you nervous? Can you tell me a little bit about that period in your life?
Yeah, it's determination, determination and discipline. I took fight after fight. I have confidence with my staff and my manager. We did a great work. So we didn't anticipate COVID, which
Yeah.
of course was doing a bit bad. But I was because the first year I started fighting, I did like 6 or 7 fights in a year. And then with the COVID, I was happy to be in Brave Combat Federation. I still could fight at least twice a year on the getting on UFC radar. And 2.5 years later, I was in the UFC. So very proud of about that. It's not only my work; it's the teamwork.
I mentioned the graphic novel. I don't want to give away too much, but as a little teaser, is there something you can share with the fans that might be in your book, something that will surprise people to learn about your life and your story?
Yeah, the difficulty of of taking such an adventure, but the the proud of living your dream and not dreaming your life. Uh, um, it's all about that and determination, and I believe excellence always pays off, and this is where you have to go. And it always takes time. Nothing great in the world uh, is. Um, is something you acquire very fast. So trust yourself and trust the process.
As we finish up here, I'd love to get to know a little bit about you away from the fight. So I'm going to ask you some kind of random questions to take us home, okay?
Okay.
All right. What is your favorite non MMA hobby?
Rugby.
Rugby. Okay. Ooh, that's it. Do you play still?
No, no, no.
No. Okay,
It's
just to
too
watch.
dangerous to play.
Yeah. Coming from a pro fighter, I love hearing that. Who is the best lightweight in the UFC not named Islam Makhachev or Benoit Saint-Denis?
And you will find out on Saturday night.
I like it. What are three French foods that everybody should try?
Um, hmm. Bœuf bourguignon.
Mhm.
Um, then lasagne, but I don't know if it's purely French or more Italian.
Okay.
Lasagne.
Yeah.
And what? Uh, a chipiron à la plancha. It's from the Basque country where I live in. It's great.
Last one. Obviously, Paris is like a world-class city. It's hosting the UFC on Saturday. Where's one place in France that maybe people don't visit enough that they should?
Uh, uh, maybe southwest of France. It's a great place to visit. The Bordeaux, Toulouse, all those cities.
Perfect. Benoit, I'd like to leave you with the last word. So very quickly for me, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Subscribe, tap the bell, thumbs up. Let us know your official prediction. Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint-Denis that headlines UFC Paris on Saturday. Benoit, if there's anything you would like to tell the fans, the floor is yours, my friend.
Be ready. It's gonna be a war. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.